and welcome to Modern Toy Fair. It's that time of year again. We are going to give you our top 10 figures of 2022. I am your host, Mr. Modern Toy Fair, and I am joined by the founder of the NEC Illuminati, the delayer of shipments, the procrastinator of pre-orders, the YouTube wife, Mrs. Modern Toy Fair, Jarmar _games. But that's not all. We are also joined by the man Modern Toy Fair has full custody over. The man Optimus Prime popped, but he refuses to stop. The Twilight Knight, the master of Mac, the three-pump chump of taking the show off the rails, Nate. How are you guys doing?
I'm good.
Next question.
All right. Well, first and foremost, happy Festivus. This is our Festivus special. We've been doing this, what is this, year 3?
I believe.
Possibly.
I feel like it's year 3. So what we do is we are going to take turns going around, around the circle to tell you our top 10 action figures. We'll go one at a time, taking turns and kind of talking a little bit about each figure. But before we get started, pause the video, go to the comments below, and tell us your top 10 for the year. So that way, at the end of the video, we can compare and contrast notes. Oh, no, not you, Nate. No. You stay here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we kind of need you for this. So.
Okay. Well, yeah. I was gonna go make my list.
I appreciate that. I'm glad that you listen. But yeah, so go to the comments below. Let us know your top 10 so we can compare notes here at the end of the video. But let's jump right into it with number 10. So I'm going to go first, and then we're going to go to Jarmar and then Nate and just go around the table each round. So my number 10 is the Fresh Monkey Fiction Naughty or Nice Collection Classic Santa Claus. So this figure, like the entire set of figures, were kind of up in the air if they were come out this year after they promised to be up by Christmas. The company came out and said, like, hey, there's been some shipping delays. We're trying to make it work. We'll keep you updated. Literally the week of Christmas, they managed to start, like, getting them out. So mine arrived on this past Monday, and I got the Cyborg Santa and the Classic Santa and then the accessory set. And they're so awesome. I mentioned to you guys I am hesitant to keep the Classic Santa because instantly he skyrocketed in price, and I'm like, well, I could use him as like trade fodder now to get some OnlyFigs figures, but at the same time, like, I'm sitting there staring at him in the box every day, and I'm just like, I got so many picture ideas I want to do. I've already started playing with the Cyborg Santa, so I'm very much so like seeing what the figure can do, and then being like, the other Santa even has more hands and shit. So it's such a cool thing that someone just made a Santa action figure. Not to mention that these figures come in old Marvel Legends packaging. So before they get rid of the windowless package, that's what these look here. I've got it right here next to me. So
yeah, I mean, this has to be intentional.
They straight up were like, hey, Marvel Legends won't do it, so we will. Like, this is 100% Marvel Legends box. So
interesting.
The jury is still out if I'm keeping it, but oh my god, yes.
What are you gonna do with, like, what is the idea? Like,
I imagine the photos.
I mean, photos.
Okay, so is it photos?
Yeah,
okay,
it's mostly photos.
I'm no jujudgment.
No, I don't know, it seemed a little judgy.
Please,
you were like, what are you gonna do to Santa?
It did seem judgy. I apologize. But I just was curious because I saw them when they first went up, and I was like, this is really cool. I want to support Fresh Monkey Fiction, but then I'm also like, I don't need a Santa Claus action figure. Although until I saw the photos for Mall Santa, which is in the next wave, that one is pretty great. So
yeah, I did pre-order a couple from the next wave, and they did announce a reissue of Classic Santa for next year, so I pre-ordered that too, just in case I do decide to not keep him.
Sure. As you do.
But yeah, so that's where I'm at with it. But I mean, you get all these little packages and stuff. Like the accessories, really, of course, are what got me. Got little.
That's what I.
And if nobody doesn't want a handsy Santa, right?
Exactly. I've got one of Cyborg Santa's heads just sitting on my desk here.
I just have to
That
assume
is
that it's
pretty
going to
cool.
be great for your Christmas cards.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking is because like you guys got the Christmas cards, so you know that.
We did.
So you
I
know
did
I
not.
did.
that's what.
Weird mailing thing, but
Huh?
yeah, that's well. I guess we can talk about that later. I
What?
never received mine. It showed that we were getting it, and then we don't know what happened.
Oh well, you know what? I've
So,
got extra, so I'll send you another one.
well, I figured you. The problem is the check, the $100 check that you had in there,
Oh yeah, you
right?
guys' Christmas bonuses got lost. Ooh, that's unfortunate.
Uh, yeah.
Um, all right, Jamar, what is your number 10?
Mine
For
fell
my
out.
top 10, it is a slight homage to a classic turtle line that I once used to love and behold, and it is Playmates Last Ronin the PX figure. So I couldn't not have it on my top 10 just because you know, it's obviously exciting to see something new and a new mode and new articulation stuff from Playmates, and it's awesome. So of course it's going to be on my top 10 list. Um, yeah, I just feel like it could have been higher, but there were so many other things that I had, and for as long as I spent on this show and just in other past previous shows of bitching about Playmate, it's just nice that they have something that I really enjoy.
Yeah, as much as you've like hated on Playmates over the years, when that showed up on your top 10, I was like kind of shocked, but kind of not.
But he
No, I mean,
loves he hates and loves Playmates altogether.
yeah,
It's a very
yeah, for
toxic
sure.
Yeah,
relationship.
it
But this is
is.
the first
It
thing in
is.
a while that I didn't hate by, which
Oh,
is like it's that doesn't happen that
Yeah.
often. Plus, also my
Yeah.
list is very very basic and on brand. If you by the end of this episode, you will know exactly what I mean.
So my number 10. Last year I did it differently. I think I did like one figure per line or something like that. But I buy a
Mhm.
lot less lines now, so I'm not doing that. But I don't have a lot of McFarlane on my list because I don't buy a ton of McFarlane. In fact, I buy very little. But I don't want to totally leave them out in the cold because they do good work. So I did pick up this year a little set that is based on one of my favorite comic stories of all time, and that's The Dark Knight Returns. And this is The Dark Knight Returns Batman. In addition to, I also want to show off to the horse
oh, you did the whole full
because
build of horsey.
oh yeah, because the whole wave was for like $65 on Big Bad Toy Store one day, and so
That makes more
I
sense
was
now.
like, I have to. I love this book, and I've had Dark Knight figures over the years. I had DC Direct. I had the Mattel ones. I had maybe that was it. But either way, I decided I was like, well, I need these two, and because I do love this story, and I couldn't resist the horse, and it's great. It is a really good figure, even just Batman by himself is really
Okay.
cool and fun, and he's chunky and chubby and you know old. Which, if I remember right, in The Dark Knight Returns, he's like 50 something.
I thought he was in his
Mm.
60s.
Definitely had gray
I,
hair, so I mean I don't know if that.
Yeah, but like in the maybe you're right. Maybe it is like 60, but it's like real early 60s.
Yeah,
Whereas
like he's not like
nowadays,
ancient or anything, but he's old enough
right,
that he shouldn't be jumping
but
off
he looks
rooftops.
old because it was the 80s. Because 59-year-olds were Wilford Brimley and Cocoon,
Hmm.
and now they're Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, things are different. But so that just always makes me laugh because I mean Ben Affleck is like that current version, but like he's around the same age almost, and it's
Mhm.
like not really that old. But anyway,
Yeah.
on to number 9.
Number
Number
9.
nine.
So for me, this one is
Number
a line
9.
that, huh?
Number line.
Number 9.
Number
It's
line.
a. I'm sorry, it's a Beatles reference.
Oh,
I'm older. I'm not
yes.
as old. Never mind.
You're
I'm just
almost
gonna
as
move
old as
on.
Batman. We get
No.
it.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. You're closer to Batman than you are to me.
Oh, shit. Really? Not if he's
It's a
60.
close it depends on his exact age, I guess.
Yeah.
we'll have to get back to that one. Um, Now Jamar's thinking real hard. While he thinks, my number 9 is a lot from a line that I really have overindulged in,
Oh.
and that is the Fortnite Victory Royale line.
Oh.
My number 9 is Man Cake, a fucking cowboy made of pancakes. This figure, especially as far as in a year where, especially Hasbro, bang for your buck was not great this year.
Right.
And this figure was like $40. He came with 2 pistols, a back bling, a syrup thing, an interchangeable face, slash head, since it's like the face plate, but it has a hat. I don't know. A fucking cannon, and a pickaxe that was also like a gun, and like for $40. Like, that's insane considering now we're paying like 25 to 30 just for a Marvel Legends with maybe interchangeable hands.
I was gonna say with barely
Yeah.
interchangeable hands.
So like I could not like keep him off of my list. I didn't want to put him too high because I feel like that'd be a criminal. But he's too bat buns, that's fun. But he's too much fun. And there were other ones that, like, I mean, Sludge, the red version of Ripley, I got like a month or so ago, and I think there was also a weird like hatched chick egg thing that came with like dual wielding drumsticks. There was a couple of them, but Mancake definitely took the cake.
That was a good. You tried. So I have to keep looking at this as if I didn't make the list. My number 9, which throughout this whole list, I just realized only one thing that's not green, and it just kind of makes me laugh. But for my number line, it was for a TV show that I was quite a huge fan of, enjoyed it a lot, and got the Marvel Legends version of it, and enjoyed it even more. Um, it was the She-Hulk from the is it Disney Plus line still is what they call
Yeah,
it.
I think it was
Yeah,
the Disney Plus line.
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I got a couple out of this line, and the Marvel Legends are always kind of like just mid-level. Not like that seems like I'm saying something negative about it, but they're just not like they never like blow me away.
But
But they're just
they're better than children's toys.
yeah, they're perfect for exactly what they are, which is why they need to leave the price alone. But they never like it's more about like the meaning for the Marvel Legends figures of like why I have them and why I want to get them. And so like this one had a little bit of that, but then also once I got it was like, oh man, this is actually really good. The scaling, making it obviously taller because She-Hulk, which is really cool. I just overall like the design too. Like it seemed pretty perfect in my opinion. So yeah, I had to throw this in here as a top 10 for me. So that's my number 9.
Awesome.
Oh,
I will maybe have more comments later.
Oh, okay.
spoilers.
Let's see.
It's his negative number 9.
It's his honorable mention.
Yeah. Batman was 55.
Okay.
So
Okay.
not quite,
And you
but
are?
44.
So you're
And
11
Michael?
years. I'm 31.
11 years away.
So you are closer to Batman than
Shit.
you are to me.
Yeah. All right, that's crazy. But also, like, let's recognize the fact that 55 doesn't look like that anymore.
Oh no, not
like,
at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
55
weird.
Does not look
It's
like that.
weird.
That's more of
Yeah.
like 70.
Yeah. All right, so my number 9 is also ironically, but this one comes from McFarlane. Man Cake. Look at that. Look at it.
Man cakes.
That is Man Cakes. So no, but my real number 9, which is weird, I realized that when I put it on the list, I was like, you know what? A lot of people are going to think this is a super boring figure, and I get it. But I chose the Ravager Thor from Thor: Love and Thunder, Marvel Legends. Actually, the whole wave is really good as far as the looks and likenesses and just the everything, but the more decorative Thor, which I think is terrible. The ironic part is, I still haven't seen the movie. So like, I don't have any, like, a lot of people told me they didn't like it. So I've actually been scared of watching it because I love Ragnarok so much that everybody was like, no, this movie sucks. And so, yeah.
I know this is
like,
a
even
show,
people,
but I feel like people
incredible.
who love Ragnarok,
like even people who like really liked Ragnarok and I trust, they're like, it's not good. And so I've been scared to watch it. So
surprising.
Yeah, but I love that figure. I think it's probably one of the best Chris Hemsworth likenesses they've done. It's very simple, but that's what I like about it because, one, I haven't seen the movie, but two, that's my Guardians Thor, and that's what I like about it. So I just think it's a really cool, fun figure, and I think it was the best Thor of that. And like I had mentioned previously, I stopped collecting a lot of lines over the last year. One of the things was, and this was before this year, but Marvel Legends really took a major back seat, and I'm really only doing MCU, and even that is selective. And so that was definitely one though that caught my eye, and actually paid at full price back all the way, if you can remember, when they were $22.99. When that was too expensive.
Yeah.
This was all in the same year, guys. This
Well,
is
it was within
crazy.
the same 6 months.
Yeah. So that's my number 9.
All right, awesome. So on to number 8. You already mentioned the best Batman story that's ever made. So I'm going to continue talking about it because my number 8 is the Mafex Armored Batman. So one of my favorite parts of that book is, the big fight between Batman and Superman, and Batman shows up in this big ass bulky armor, and he's just ready to go, and still kind of gets his ass whipped a little bit. And the fact that Mafex gave us both Batman and Superman in the same year, I'm super grateful for. But I just love the look of the armor, and this version is just one of the few that's been really true to the source material. Because Mattel did one that was decent. McFarlane tried to add too much like grime and realism to his, I feel, and like everyone else usually just does the like Batman v Superman armored Batman. So I was all for it. I love the figure. It's actually behind me on the shelf there, fighting Superman. You can kind of see the silhouette a little bit. So I was super excited that they announced it and that it actually came out this year.
I guess it sounds like someone who's been hurt many times by other unnamed companies. Yes. Like, I'm super excited they announced it and it came out this year.
Yes.
That is a big, tall feat, though.
Well, in my defense, before Mezco really kind of shat the bed, Mafex was the company that everyone made fun of because it was like, oh, it'll come out eventually. And they've gotten it to the point where they'll delay things a month or two, but it comes out within like a 2 to 4 month time period of when they announced it, or when the date is supposed to be, versus like Mezco, it's getting bad.
Hey, we won't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk
this
about
This is a Festivus or whatever. I don't even know what
Festivus for the rest of us.
So it's funny how you should mention armor, because number 8 on my list is the unarmored Last Ronin figure from NECA. We're just gonna keep doing these stupid segues to each one.
I love it.
Yeah. So, just in slight indication to my list, this was still one of like my favorite NECA figures, maybe all time. Just from NECA Turtle figures is what I'll clarify that. So, the things that I've received this year have like, I don't know, just given me like exactly kind of what I've wanted from some of these figures. So for this to be number 8 on my list is kind of a big deal. But you'll see why later. But yeah, I really just love like the battered and bruised looking like ness of the turtle. We're talking about old people at 55, man, it's so rough.
He's in his 20s.
But it's just cool to see the turtles. Obviously, it's based on like an amazing comic series, but it's just cool to see the turtles in like that. Well, I'm saying turtles, but specific one turtle. But it's just cool to see them in this like old and kind of decrepit, but not in like, another way, which is something else on my list. But yeah, I just love this figure. So it's a really great sculpt. I didn't order it from China. I support it local. That's a reference to the saga of getting figures from AliExpress. So
I will say it shocks me how many people made the choice between the two instead of getting both. Like I see a lot of people saying like, "Oh, I only wanted one or the other. They didn't want both." And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like for me, if nothing else, it was to get the extra head sculpts, because to get like those normal heads alone made it worth it, and the other accessories, but also it's just a badass figure of a sexy shirtless turtle.
I could understand most people just being like, yeah, I'm just gonna get one out of the two. I could totally understand it, but yeah, I just feel like you do need to kind of both, especially a fan of it. But also because the boxes,
Yeah,
so
the
cool.
fact that we figured that out, that they connect and make artwork on the side.
I love it.
Lots more coming.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
All right. So, all right, my number 8. So, once again, people might be like, oh, "What? A repaint? Oh, exclusive? Oh, what?" And I'm sorry. This is my list. This is my favorite figures of the year. Maybe not necessarily the best, but damn it, it's the ones I like. And what I like is the NECA Wedding Greta from Gremlins 2, the new batch, because I love that movie so much. And the fact that we got 2 Gretas out of this line, and we got the main uh, hookery version and the wedding is just
Top notch.
it's what I needed. It's what I needed.
Of course. How could you
And
not?
I mean, I would love more Gremlins, like the vegetable Gremlin, and more things from the first movie. But you know what? If I never get anything again, I've been well served, and it's because I got my wedding Greta. So
Fair enough.
Alrighty.
I do like just to point out that these are like our top 10 lists.
right.
You
No,
know,
this is the
our
definitive
10.
top 30 figures of the year.
Oh, okay.
Disprove us.
There can
Well,
only
Even if it
be
may actually only be the top
30.
28.
They can't disprove me on the Gremlins 2 one. So
I mean, I'm gonna just need a moment to get over the hookery version.
yeah. Well, I mean, look it up.
Oh no, trust me, I had to look up the pictures for the graphics. I know.
Oh, okay. Right.
So moving on, number 7. Mine is from a line that I unfortunately have to buy 2 of almost every figure because
I know
they are so beautiful on card that's the main reason I buy them. But then some of the figures I actually want to go with my MoffX figures because I don't know when MoffX will get around to making them. And that is the X-Men retro carded Beast. So Beast is my favorite X-Men character. And that orange card, it's so beautiful. I can't wait here over the next week or so. I'm gonna be dismantling some stuff behind me so that way I can actually have them across the wall there so they can be better displayed. But yeah, so I'm a sucker for the retro card. I did have to narrow it down. There's only 2 on my list. But to enable to do that, I may have made a top 10 video of the top 10 retro carded figures of 2022. It's on the channel right now. So when you're done with this video, go check that one out if you want to see what other retro card figures I was into this year. Jarmar, how are you going to segue from that one?
Well, it's just funny because most people consider Beast not a beast, but a monster. And for my number 7, it is one of the most iconic monsters. Actually, one of the most iconic universal monsters would be the Frankenstein Wrath. Initially, when this line was announced, I think he was like the first one we saw, right? Wrath was, right?
Mhm.
Because
Yep.
I just recall thinking like, oh, okay, this is cool. This is fun. I don't know how it's gonna like change my aspect on how great the Playmates line was. So we'll dabble into it. We'll see. I get the figure, and it instantly changed my mind about this entire line. It was like, yes, I have to get these turtles because the amount of like meticulous details, like the bolts on his neck being like, or the size being like the bolts, but they're like size, and like it's just everything about this figure is great. It's big and it's bulky. I know the only negative thing I would say is it did kind of raise the price of something like of the NECA figure, but these are kind of like an ultimate like, edition or whatnot. So I'm not too mad about that at all. But this figure just made me feel like I was getting my value out of it. And I'm hoping, foreshadowing to come, that we still continue to keep getting great things out of this line for the turtles, because some of the side characters not been impressive, but they are doing a really good job with the characters or with the turtles. So that's why Raph is on this list here. That's my number 7. Yeah.
All right. My number 7 is almost like yours. It also comes from Universal, but I chose another NECA figure, and to kind of encapsulate all of what they're doing with the Universal monsters, I chose the Mummy. One, because I couldn't remember when Frankenstein came out, and I think it was last year.
Was it last year?
So,
Yeah,
I think
I
so.
had to check
Yeah.
because he was on my list
Yeah.
last year.
Did I get All
So
3 of them this year?
no.
No,
No,
it's
I
not the
thought
the
actual
regular,
Universal.
the actual Universal
Yeah,
monster.
you're thinking of
Oh, okay,
Turtles.
okay. Wait, I was like, wait,
Yeah.
what the fuck? How long has this
No.
year been?
No.
Okay,
But
that makes sense. That makes sense.
I do love what they're doing there, and I am including, like, with the mummy, the accessory set.
Mm-hmm.
So that includes a sarcophagus, and it includes a little other little piece. And people are like, "Oh, $40 for basically you get a sarcophagus and a newspaper and a box." But they're actually like doing you a favor in a sense, because they could have packaged all of that together. It would have been very equal in price to the RoboCop in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
It'd have been around $70, but they're giving you the option to partake in that cost or not. And I think with what they've released so far, I think these are absolute necessities. I did also recently pick up the Frankenstein accessory set. I just couldn't include the figure. And yeah, it's not a ton of pieces for your $40, but it's the right pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're doing a bang up job with this line. So get yourself one and get an accessory set. If nothing else, hold out for the Dracula set. And all of them have been great so far.
Yeah, not
That's
gonna
fair.
lie. If they would have made them black and white, I would be buying them right now. That's the only
Yeah,
saving
that's the
grace for me.
thing. Yeah, the accessory sets are for the color versions. Yeah. And it's funny because I originally was going to get black and white, and then I was told, I read that not all of them would be available in black and white. So I made the switch to color. And then I was kind of bummed that I did, but now I'm kind of glad that I did, because the accessory sets work for them. And there's been a couple of figures announced that aren't getting black and white variants. So,
Which ones?
the Invisible Man and the guy from Midnight Prowler.
Did they 100% like confirm he's not getting?
They
one?
didn't
'Cause-
100%, but it was on the 12 days of
Yeah, I just took
thing.
that as like it just hasn't been announced yet. I didn't take that.
Well,
as like
they
confirmation.
put they put the bride on there in both versions, and neither of those have been announced.
True.
And I mean,
Okay.
Randy did say not all of them would be available in
Which-
black and
which is
white. So
fine,
I'm
'cause
assuming.
I don't need the Invisible Man, so like at least
Well,
it's not.
it's
not
Right.
invisible, so you wouldn't be able to see him.
Exactly, he's already on my shelf anyway.
Yeah.
You just don't know it.
Right.
I'm just glad that Creature from the Black Lagoon is getting both.
Yeah,
because that's my favorite.
I think what they'll do is the main ones for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like the doctor, I think his name's Dr. Burke. That's not like that's not a huge.
Yeah.
And I think I even got the name of the movie wrong. I don't even know if it's Midnight Prowler.
I don't even know what movie you're
It's-
talking about, to be honest. So
Same.
Yeah, it's an older one. It's
That would explain.
yeah. That's
Us
why I
not
don't think
knowing.
it's going to be available in color. Because I just don't think it's
Well-
going to, or not be available in black and white, because I just don't think it's
Was the
going to
Does
be
the
that
movie?
popular
Yeah.
anyway.
yeah? I'm just confused. If the movie wasn't in color, why would they?
well, so all these
none of them-
movies they did colorized versions after the fact. They went back and added color to them.
That's fair.
But yeah, because when
They
they
were on
originally
their
came
George
out, they were
Lucas.
in black and white. But eventually they went.
But
color
these
with
aren't
everything.
from the colorizations though.
Yeah.
Like these are
Right.
what they think they would be,
Yeah.
what they would look like in color. And a lot of them are muted. I mean, even the Mummy doesn't have a lot of color. And
Well,
I
Mummy,
mean,
I think the only thing is
if at any.
his ring. That's the only way to tell the difference, I think.
and his eyes. And even the Frankenstein's monster, he's very
Very
muted in his colors.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Fair.
So yeah, they don't jazz him up too much.
Now a jazz Frankenstein, I'd be into.
Yeah.
With a saxophone.
Yep.
I have the
I'm with you on
saxophone
that
from
one.
the musical
Oh.
Mutagen tour.
Yeah.
I can make that happen. I
Yeah.
just need to paint it black and white. Or maybe it will be his way of bringing color to the shelf. The power of music.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
On to number 6. We're gonna stick with NECA apparently. My number 6 is from the pretty much newly announced and already had started showing up like midway through the year comic book line from the Archie comics though. And that is TMNT Adventures Slash.
Sweet.
Oh man, Slash is such a cool character, and this version, it's so good. And the fact that they didn't just reuse the Slash body from like the arcade line or anything like that, they actually made him big and beefy, and and kind of larger than what I assume the other turtles will be when we eventually get them, hopefully next year. His accessories were great. I love the comic paint lines that they put on him to really make it clear like where he's from. The box art is so cool. I really can't wait to see more from both the Mirage and the Archie line because they just do such a great job. There's so many of these characters that are coming out in these lines that I'm like, I don't need it, but I really want it.
That's fair. That's very fair. Um, I still have not purchased that Slash,
I know. I'm
and
surprised.
I will probably end up getting it enough times after walking past it at our local toy store, so not your local toy store. Anyways, yeah. So I can't think of anything creative to pitch the gap
You can't
between this
slash
one.
your way into your number 6.
No, because I wanted to be
Oh,
pertaining, but I mean, it is keeping NECA here. I'm really looking forward to the check that we get after this episode. So, yeah, I've already spoke glowingly about the Frankenstein, Raphael, and the Universal line in general for the Turtles. So it should be no shocker that the Mummy is on my list as well. This one, debatedly, if you would have asked me like years or whatever months before when this was first announced, the Mummy probably would have been like, oh yeah, this is going to be my favorite figure from NECA hands down. Partly because of the swappable head that they put in there with the decaying face, and to me that was just one of those, again, just they're just scientists just adding everything perfect to these figures. They may not deliver them in the most perfect way, but like they really do care about these sculpts and take a lot of thought into it. And that was just like a perfect set. Like that was just unbelievable. So this of course is in my top 10 for that reason alone. And again, box art on the Mummy is probably one of my favorites. But yeah, my Mummy is number 6, 7. I don't know.
mummy,
I forgot what number it was. Yeah.
Your
mummy,
Can I have some more?
mummy. So I'm just gonna grab her off the shelf because there's a lot of haters in the world, and that's okay.
Haters gonna hate.
They're loading up the pegs at Target. I saw it today, whole racks of them. But you'll remember here that Modern Toy Fair 2 out of 3 that we know of picked She-Hulk in their top 10. This is a great figure, from likeness to just overall presentation. I think it's great. I like the show. I like the character. Always have liked the character. So I was happy to get this one. And yeah, somebody is going to be like, "What? She-Hulk on your top 10 of the year?" Well, I'll tell you, that was another one of the few Marvel Legends I paid full price for this year, right off the shelf. No clearance, no discount, no sale. Because I liked it. I don't know what to tell you.
You ain't got to tell him anything. It's a great figure. And yeah, I mean, just to say real quick, Lightning's really great for a green character. I don't know if that's why they got it really good, but Marvel Legends has been doing great likenesses for, well,
yes,
mostly.
Well, last few years.
I mean, I just find it interesting that they can get the green person's face right, but they did an entire wave of people of color and fucked them all up. Just saying.
Well, I mean, it depends on which ones because they're doing good. Some
I
of
don't know.
the
That entire
Koye,
Turtles wave, the only people who really looked like the people were the white people.
yeah, maybe they just shit those out because
This
that
is
movie
true.
was under supported.
I was at a Walmart the other day, and like somebody must have found them in the back because there was like 3 peg rows of them, and I was like, "Oh, buddy, like
It's
this is not
bad.
happening."
They were like, I found
It is-
gold.
Yeah.
It's the week before
Ooh.
Christmas, y'all. We're going to be selling out of these.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So I'll spoil it right now. She-Hulk did not make my list. I do not do MCU figures, but it is a fantastic figure. I can recognize that they killed it. I love the show, and those are the only reasons it didn't make my list.
Scared. You
but
scared.
I did. Ironically, my number 5 is a Marvel Legends figure. This is my second retro figure. That it was probably, I think it was my first one of the year too, and that is the retro carded Rhino figure. And I'm glad I bought two because they completely night and day difference from the Build-A-Figure version. Like the paint apps are better, the new heads are better. He has interchangeable
It should be.
hands.
It's been
Like,
a few years.
well, some of these are legit just repaints that end up being like lackluster. Like the Green Goblin looks terrible. They just took it, made it brighter, and gave him pupils that look in opposite directions. Like,
I mean, it's a completely different figure than the previous one, but that's fine.
Haters gonna hate, man.
But no, I love the character Rhino in the old cartoon and in the comics, so I really wanted to have him. And then when I started the retro, collection for that line, I was like, okay, he's gonna be like, I'm not gonna go all in on it, but he's gonna be one of the ones I actually get because I didn't get Kingpin. At least I didn't. Well, correction, I got Kingpin back when I did Mezco stuff because I gave him a actual cloth cut suit, but I didn't keep him on card. And then eventually, when I got done with Mezco, I sold the custom version of him. But as far as the ones on card, I was like, all right, I want to have at least like a Sinister 6 for the villains for Spider-Man. I might go further than that depending on who they make. I'm really hoping eventually we get Doc Ock. Just saying, Marvel, Hasbro, just saying. Especially if it's a Doc Ock from that line or from the cartoon. Count me in. But yeah, so Rhino, Retro Card Wave is my number 5.
Nice.
Don't have one here. Don't have one here. Don't have one here. This one though was a little bit of a surprise because I didn't think it was gonna actually deliver. Let alone well, I knew if it would deliver, it was gonna be on my top 10. So I just knew that instantly. Just because one, so far on this list, have not had many Nindoroids because this has been the year of waiting for Nindoroids. I will give them a shout out though. Good smile. They basically went through all of the figures that had previously have been released that people have missed that have been stupid expensive because of that, and they went through and just re-released everything. So if you're a fan of Nindoroids and you missed out on stuff, this basically all year was just finding things that you could get and getting them for like slightly a little bit more than retail, like maybe $5 or $6 or so. So that's great. But the figure I'm going to announce of my top 5, is it 5? We should have made a bigger deal because this is top 5 now. But it's Aloy from the hit game Horizon Forbidden West. This is on my top 10. One, because I love Aloy as a character for PlayStation. Probably my favorite interesting character, next to Kratos from God of War, if you are video gaming. But Aloy has just always been so intriguing to me because of the world that she is in, the setting and stuff, and she's just very curious and all these great things. And I'm explaining to you why I love Aloy. But why I love this figure is because it basically Ninderized. That's what I'm gonna say.
Like
the
that.
Aloy figure. Yeah, I should coin that term. Which, and maybe we'll see it in another show of me showing off the figure in full detail. But everything about it I fucking love, and that's why it was easily gonna be my top 5. Could have beat out some other things had I not gotten some other surprises that I was shocked that I liked. Aloy is a metal alloy. I don't know. I tried to think of another segue. It didn't.
All right. I like it. So my top 5 kind of runs through my heavy hitters on some of the lines that I collect for the most part. So number 5 is the deluxe vintage collection Boba Fett from Tatooine. This is the one that came in the closed box. It's just a great figure, one of the best figures that they've ever done as far as likeness on a small scale. It looks just like Tamara Morrison, probably even better than the Black Series one. If I could pick the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett from last year, I would again, because it's the best 3 3/4 inch figure. But I picked another Boba Fett that came out this year because it is also great. Or I could have picked one of the several times that other Boba Fett mold got repainted this year.
Yeah, you had plenty of options there, like I was
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, and there's like 6 more coming next year. So
yeah, when you sent me your list, I was kind of shocked, like out of all of the ones you've gotten, that was the one you chose, simply
yeah,
because I'm like, man, as much as this character gets overused and there's the Boba Fett tax and everything, I'm really shocked this is the one he went with.
it's just a great figure, and I liked the show. It, it's not the direction I would have gone in, but whatever,
Mm.
it's fine.
Mhm.
It's not even really about the show itself. It's really just more about the look, um, and yeah, just the overall figureness of it. I
The
guess I don't
figureness
know.
of it. Oh,
Yeah,
tenderize.
I don't know. I only put one vintage collection figure, and I put 2 Marvel Legends, and I don't buy hardly any Marvel Legends. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
wanted to spotlight a couple of things.
Got
So
a shout out.
All right then.
yeah,
On to number 4 then, I guess. So this is another Mafex figure for me. Um, this
Shocker.
one is well, that's rude. I've only had one so far.
That is fair. That is fair. I
Um,
thought it was gonna be so many more.
we're gonna get more though. So this one is a repaint, which I feel is kind of wrong to put this on my top 10, but oh, it's so pretty. That is the Mafex Classic Spider-Man. Like they've re-released this body technically 3 other times at this point, because we had the original version, we had the comic book paint version, and then we had Webman, and then we had this version. So it's 4 times they've used the same body. And this time I feel like they finally nailed it, because the first one had that like dark red and the metallic blue, and it was acceptable, but it wasn't perfect. And the comic book one is really cool looking, but very like stylized. Obviously, Webman doesn't count. But this one, oh, I mean, I still have him on my desk because I was playing with him last week when I was over on Dave Wonder's Wednesday stream. But just look at him. Look at how good that looks. Like, oh, it's so bright, and the blue and the red. So super happy that it does have some fumbles, because some of the paint apps on the webs are not great, but it happens with all figure lines, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's why it's not number 1.
Exactly. That is why it didn't make it to number 1.
So that's me then.
Yes. How you
Yeah.
gonna web sling into this one?
No, I'll just stick with the theme of superheroes. And for number 4 on my list is the Dark Turtle from NECA. Again, this one actually led the decision, honestly, when this figure was shown, to do the the hellscape we call Loot Crate. So that was like one of the main figures that I absolutely wanted from these boxes. And it just kind of lucky enough came this year, so it became my number 1. I actually love the blend. I'm gonna say this is the first time. You guys are much more knowledgeable and have better memories than I do. This is the first NECA figure that I have that actually has like a soft goods with it,
Raphael.
turtle wise. Which Raphael?
Remember Trenchcoat Mafia, the summer of
Oh,
Turtle Watch?
yeah, but I don't
You
know
can't
if I
say it's not soft
necessarily.
goods. That coat is better than that cape.
Well, one, that's debatable. The cape has very good quality. Are you kidding me? It has like that, like, not spandex material, but it's like a very, very soft. I don't know if you mean because you can't bend it in any kind of
No, I
direction
just
and
mean
it's
because
not long
the
enough for
coat
you and all
has
that
like
good stuff.
all of the straps and the buttons. Like it
That's
has like a shit ton
fair.
of detail, where the cape is just a couple cloths sewn together with a wire. Like it's a
That's
night and
fair.
day difference of like the effort that
That's
went into
fair.
it.
But we could have just gotten a hard cape.
That's
And I
true.
guess maybe
That's
that
very
is
true.
kind of what take me away. I guess I don't think about the trench coat turtles as like soft goods because that
Oh,
they
it's two
wouldn't
because
exist
there's also,
without.
I forgot about the disguise turtles too. Because I was talking about disguise Raph from the movie with Casey Jones. Because remember, that
Oh,
was 2 years ago.
yeah.
I had to
That's true.
I had to get 4 of them, so I could get 4 trench coats for the turtles. And then the
That's
following
true.
summer was the summer
Then we
of
had the
cartoon trench
discussor.
coat mafia.
That's the ones I thought you were referring to.
So that's
There's been a
twice
lot of
now.
pain and memory that
I
I've
see why
burned
you
out of it.
argued, because yeah, the cartoon trench coats not nearly as good.
Yeah, not really good. No, they're like kind of like paper thin, and
Yeah.
yeah, this just feels hefty. But so I stand corrected. This is the third, you know, thing, soft good turtle thing. But
April's very, very hard to get coat.
oh, come on, that doesn't even count. There's like 6 people that own that. I don't know.
I did.
Splinter's tunic.
Shut up already, okay?
I'm gonna say both the movie and the cartoon Splinter come with cloth goods tunics.
And the Spirit of Splinter thing, their protection.
And
the same
Alex
thing.
Shredder has a cloth cape.
Yeah.
All 10 of them.
That's true. I literally just looked up and I have I don't remember what that was, the metallic one. The artwork, whatever.
Yeah, the mystery box one, or
yeah.
style box. Of the
Yeah, but even still, if we're comparing capes, quality is much higher on the Dark Turtle. But let's just talk about the Dark Turtle itself. It is a great fucking figure. Maybe it fumbled a couple things. I'll say it didn't. Like, I would have loved to have like a swappable face with maybe a more like snarling or like, you know, fearsome looking face other than the. But I just love that figure. It was great. Thank you for making the rest of the Loot Crate worth it by giving me that figure specifically.
So
never
if you
do
want
it
to get
again.
Ventress, some people
Don't mention another soft good turtle.
No. I'm done with.
I'm just joking.
If you want to get Ventress, some people heat up the head, and if you heat it up enough, the glue gives out, and you can pop it off, and you can use the interchangeable mouths from the disguise set.
Oh.
Yeah, the fact
that
that
is
they glued
not
it down makes no
level.
sense to me. But like,
wait, so it looks just like that. So yeah, they just glued it.
It's the same parts. They just glued it together for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah, don't know why they did that.
Because they'll sell another version of it later with swappable face.
I mean, they're gonna have to after the debacle of Loot Crate.
That's what'll happen. But yeah, that's all I have. The only soft good turtle figure.
Well, the only good soft. Yep, the only soft good. The only good soft turtle.
As we.
Oh.
I don't know. It's pretty hard.
Yeah, so number 4.
Number 4. So I realized where I screwed up a couple of things, and the higher up on my list. I don't know why I put 2 Marvel Legends on my list now that I think about it, but whatever, I made a mistake. But number 4 is I would take Ravager Thor off now that I think about it, but whatever, it's fine.
Live editing.
It's fine. It's fine. I had to, because I kind of basically am going with like 1 a line, except for like 2 more. Anyway. But one I couldn't not put on the list, and the other one I also couldn't not put on the list. But whatever. Number 4 is Masters of the Universe, Masterverse Hordak. So Hordak is my favorite character in all of Masters of the Universe, and it's a fun figure and lots of cool stuff. I actually bought another one today because it was on mass clearance, and I had a gift card to Target, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy another one. And
does he at least have like because the pictures I found didn't show a lot of detail? Does he at least have the like he can change into a cult leader or something like some of the other ones?
No.
Oh.
He's got an arm cannon and a bow and arrow and some flame effects and stuff like that. The cult stuff was in Revelations, and Hordak isn't in Revelations, so
okay,
at least not yet.
So you've just got a second one, so he can like hang out with himself on the shelf.
I just bought another one.
Okay,
I'll keep it boxed, I guess, and because when I find all this Master Universe stuff on clearance, I usually always end up picking up another one, and then I'm just holding on to it. Well, I don't know.
Why not?
I don't know. Why not?
Yeah, it's each his own. Yeah. I'm just we're gonna have to do an entire episode of Toy Therapy just for your clearance habits now.
Yes, yes, I do buy a lot on clearance.
You do.
A lot of clearance.
I never find clearance shit.
That's because I buy it all.
Yeah, it's because yeah, I never find.
I find a ton of I find a ton of good shit on clearance, but I also can hit like so many targets within a.
You can hit like 5
within a week.
You're not starting this debate again.
No,
you
it's
hit 5 targets in like a half an hour.
It's because of work. I can hit up even more targets. So through the week.
All right,
but I love Hordak. Yeah.
So my number 3, not gonna lie, forgot it came out this year. Thank God for this YouTube channel because I literally went through my reviews to see what came out this year in case I was missing anything.
That would have been helpful.
Yeah, and
oh yeah, trust me.
Well, I mean, it would have been helpful for you guys because I didn't review any of the stuff you bought.
No, if we reviewed.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Or if I
probably.
kept a log of some kind,
Yeah.
like weekly purchases, but I have to watch like
You have to watch.
47 hours of weekly purchases.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
Worth rough
But
watching
mine
one
is
hour.
the Lightning Collection Power Rangers Cross TMNT Shredder.
That was this year?
That was this year.
No fucking way. That
Yeah,
was this. That's
that was this
insane.
spring.
That's insane.
Right? It does
Yeah,
not feel real. But that
What
was this
the
past spring.
fuck?
I am
it's
dumbfounded.
true.
But the
Holy
figure is
shit.
so badass. I
Yeah.
love the design of the Green Ranger Shredder
Mm.
already, and they just fucking nailed it. It looks so good. The only thing I didn't like was the cape. It was kind of
Mm.
like it was just a piece of cloth with that was like cut up, which it don't really looked cool, but it got in the way a lot, and it like never wanted to lay right. So I may have got a wired one to switch it out with, but yeah, the figure looks great. The helmet is so cool. I want them to do more. I really, really do. Especially now that they've announced that they're doing another comic. Like, oh, come on, let's do another
Mm.
go at it. Bring it.
Yeah, just throwing in my seasoning on that because I definitely didn't realize that came out this year, and that was one figure that I got for clearance. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought it came out last year. Anyways,
Which is funny because you bought it on clearance a couple months after I got it, so that means you got yours even more recently than I got mine.
yeah. I just love it. Like thinking of the turtles themselves, it wasn't like a full 100% depiction of what they looked like in the
Mm-hmm.
comics. It was like their own like inspiration, but like they did a really good job with like Shredder keeping him very similar to the
Yeah.
comics, which is really awesome. And again, such a great moment in the comics of him morphing for the first time. Like God, it was fucking hype. But anyways, yeah, that's a good pick. I can't believe I that came out this year. It's so crazy.
Yeah, I literally added him to my list today
What
as
is
I was doing
time?
things because I was going through. I was like, there's got to be something else. There's no way I've only bought Marvel Legends, NECA figures, and Mafex figures all year. Like, come on now.
I would have said they came out 2 years ago.
I would have said they came out last year.
Oh my goodness. Oh wait. Oh. Oh. Oh fuck. I had a never mind.
You had a segue and you fucked it up.
Yeah, I should have stopped talking. But anyways, um another one not surprising on my list. Again, I told you this is very 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 basic and on brand for me, and I'm tapping back that well that I've already tapped a few times so far, and it is the Universal Monster line. Is he just putting all of them on there? Yes, I am. And surprisingly, this was the first one that I saw and thought, "My god, they are fucking this up," because I saw the Hunchback Leo and thought, man, they really picked a very, very bad property to mash up with the turtle until I got it in my hands. And one of the things that I didn't know going into this, because just great thing of like not being aware of everything on the internet for toys, I didn't know it was a storage show. So this was like for me one of those moments of like opening a toy for the first time, like being a kid again, and literally exploring this figure for the first time and being just blown away. Like it was a very very fun moment. That's part of the reason it's so high on my list. I just still can remember opening this and being like, wow, this is so cool, this is so cool. And I'm like pumping it up to my son like, oh look, it's so awesome. And then I open up the storage cell looking at the lock and I thought, oh, this is cool. And I open it up and you can see like the detailing inside with like the spider webs and shit. And I legitimately like yelled out, "This is so awesome!" And that just I don't feel like I get that too much from collecting toys anymore because we already know everything about them, or you get
Mm-hmm.
them and you're like, "Yeah, this is cool. This looks like it." But that was like my first like childhood like, "Whoa, this is cool." So I had to throw that high up on the list. It's ugly as fucking all sin, but they stuck to it so much that they nailed the landing, and I just love that.
I'm legit shocked that he beat out the Mummy
Yeah,
and
I am
Frankenstein.
too.
Like
I am very
when I
very
saw your
too. I
list, I'm
am
like,
too,
not
man.
only he also made your top three. I was like, what?
Top
That's
three,
crazy.
but it was again. It just made me feel like a kid again opening this figure, and I will just it's gonna be top just because of that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. My number 3 is Transformers, HasLab.
There we go.
Yeah, Star Saber. So I love it. It's fun. It's probably the highest quality legacy figure that's been released this year, which is not saying a ton. Some of the legacy figures have been sketchy, but this one's super nice. It's a fun character from the Japanese version of Transformers, and so I love it. And sometimes I lick it.
This is the badass one with like the double.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one you
right?
showed off.
Okay,
was it 2
yeah,
weeks
that's
ago on
just
OnlyFigs?
Yeah.
yeah. That
Yep.
one's pretty fucking dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, just wash your hands after you touch it.
What do I wash if I lick it?
What if you lick it?
Yeah. Just keep it inside me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just
I mean, you might want to.
we're bot bros.
Get some mouthwash.
Eskimo bots.
Robo Bros.
Eskimo Robo Bros. There we go.
That got weird.
It is always weird.
Which
It
was
always
already
does.
kind of weird because we went from like talking about like Jarmar's like childhood glee to Nate just like dead eye
To
going,
licking.
I like Transformers and I lick them.
Yeah.
uh,
What do you think? What do you think Optimus Prime popped?
That is true.
Fair.
That
I
is very
can't
true.
argue that. On to number 2. This is the last Mofix figure that is on the list for me. This one is from the DC side of things. It is one that seems really simplistic, but it looks so good. And he's got that beautiful mullet. And that's Solar Suit Superman from Return of Superman. You've got the black and silver costume, the interchangeable boots with like the rockets on them. You've got the mullet. Even like the emblem on the chest is like embossed instead of just being painted on. It's so cool. I like when I was a kid, and like that was right around. I don't know if it was right around when I started like reading comics, but it was the first Superman. My first introduction to Superman was the Return of Superman stuff, which is weird because I was probably like maybe 6 years old, and I'm reading a comic that like comes after him getting just brutally murdered by a giant alien monster. So like when I first saw Superman, he had the mullet and he had the black and silver. And I mean, I knew about the red and blue suit because that was, obviously all my toys growing up in the animated series and stuff. But the comics, like that was my first thing I saw was the cool black and silver costume. You had Superboy in his leather jacket. You had Steel with his giant fucking sledgehammer. Cyborg Superman, who like is an honorable mention. I did do a Mofx top 10 video that came out on today for us Wednesday, so go back and check that out. He may or may not be on that list. Probably is, since I think he's in the thumbnail. I can't remember.
Also, you just mentioned it by mentioning that, so it's got to be on the list.
Yes. But yeah, I really am in, like, I don't think of myself as a huge Superman fan, but then for whatever reason this line like just instantly I'm like, oh, this is too fucking cool. Like all these characters are great. So yeah, I'm really into it. I need a mullet, normal Superman, and I know we're getting Steel. They've announced him. I think done pre-orders of him. I need cool, weird circle sunglasses and leather jacket Superboy to go with them, and then maybe like Eradicator would be cool too.
Yeah, you gotta have the Eradicator.
Mm.
Yeah, that was good shit.
Yeah.
Let's see. If you were 6, I think I was just finishing up my graduate studies at MIT.
I thought you were gonna say grade school, and I was gonna call bullshit.
I was like, no, you weren't. That's a lie.
Studies. That was unexpected.
You're on your second master's degree, right?
Yeah, 3rd marriage.
Professor Nate. So you guys did mention Eradicate and
Eradicator.
Eradicator, right? So I just wanted to like throw this into my top 10 because this line may get eradicated by the lawyers of Nickelodeon because of
I'm not.
Because number 2 on my list as kind of a surprise, because one, not my favorite turtle, but Here's the loophole. Not a Ninja Turtle. It is a samurai turtle, and he just happens to be a spring animal. I'm just saying. And I was shocked to put this on my list. So initially, I didn't even order the figure. I didn't do the pre-order like when it was first available because I was kind of scared and sketched out to buy it a little bit. And then I had an opportunity again to put the $5 on it. And I said, no, let's just take a chance on this and get something that's really
Take a
cool.
chance on me.
Take a chance, take a chance, take a chance. For something that I didn't think was gonna even possibly be made. I got it. Absolutely fucking love this figure. I'm sure the criticisms on these things can be a mile long. It's too little. It's whatever. Yeah, it is to me one of like my favorite turtle figures now, just because I have a lot of turtles. I love seeing other people's interpretation of these four turtles. And I think to me, that's what makes the turtle so cool is that there has been over time different iterations and different styles. And that's what makes me collect Ninja Turtles to begin with. So seeing someone unlicensed by the way, which is a crazy thing. And I feel like should happen more often, but I understand legal shit and all that great stuff. But if they weren't able to come out with, I love that they just made these, and I really, 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 really hope and pray and wish that all four of these samurai animals get made because so far spring, I'm loving spring. I'm ready for the next 4 seasons. I don't know.
I feel
they're
like
Ninja Turtles.
Either they're feeling the heat or they are terrified because they've like announced and released a lot of other stuff in between these turtles because like they teased the second turtle and then instantly pivoted to an alligator, a crocodile, a rat, and a werewolf. And they're
but
like,
here's
look at
the
these
thing.
instead.
That's smart because they are just making animals, and they don't own turtles. You know what I mean? You just can't. You can't own turtles.
But you can
right?
own turtles
like
that just happen to have blue, purple, orange, and red masks.
Those are accessory kits. So
customizing kits is what the box says.
Custom kits. That's what those are. So like, I don't know. I really, really hope they just be cool. Just be cool. Let them make this line. I'm gonna buy all your other shit anyways. Just let me get these. I really, 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 really fucking love it. And I really hope they all get me. So. Also, hopefully this is not a big enough video where
I say it's gonna blow up and
lawyers
snitch, and now Nintendo's gonna kill the line. It's all been kiboshed just because of you.
Nickelodeon.
Just to clarify, you meant Nickelodeon. Yeah, we just wanted to say. I don't want people. You said Nintendo.
You said Nintendo.
Oh,
yeah. I just want people in the
comments
comments
too. They're gonna be like, "Oh, nope,
yeah."
Can't be
well, they love suing people.
Yeah,
so.
trust me, they are all about it. Yeah. That's probably why I got mixed up.
So my number 2. Honestly, I probably could have put 10 G.I. Joe classified figures on this list. They had a banner year.
Legends.
Right. And then
fucking Ravager Thor ruining
yeah. Fuck Ravager Thor. I could have easily put this guy on the list who is amazing. The Stalker from a couple weeks ago. That was amazing. But I did have to put this guy on the list. And I'm going to show him before, Michael will already have the picture up. But it is the G.I. Joe Crimson Guard classified. I just want to show it off again in my hands. This thing, I bitch a lot about new and shiny. And this is one of those figures that does really rely on its vintage look, but just updating it. But it's such a timeless look. It's so incredible. It's this, elite guard, very ceremonial, with all kinds of cool gear, and he's just an amazing design. He was an amazing design in 1986. He's an amazing design now. It's awesome, and I had to put it on my list. Why is it not at number 1? You'll see here in a few minutes. There was only one thing that could top this for me this year because this thing was just wonderful.
I something I just noticed. Why was it in the 80s? Anytime there was like an evil emperor character, his elite guards were like draped in red. Like the Emperor in Star Wars had the royal
Yeah.
guard that was
Right.
in red. You've got
I
those
mean,
guys.
that's probably where they got that from. This probably comes from the Royal Guard.
Like the idea.
True story, Zartan's group of people, the Dreadnoks, instead of being biker guys, those were originally going to be Ewok-like bear creatures.
Oh my god, why did they not do
That
that?
would have been
Because Larry
hilarious.
Hama was like, no, we're not going to do that. And so probably in the long run, a wise decision.
Yes.
So,
but God, it would have been
Yeah.
fantastic, and I would have been on board.
it
for
would have. It would have.
So that means we're at number 1.
Number
This is
one.
it.
Can we?
This is it.
Well, no, go ahead. I won't run it.
Well, here, you know what, Jarmar? I think me and you should do ours together.
Okay. So I knew it. I was right.
Yep.
All right.
So there was one that was very clearly missing from my list, and you already mentioned a version of him. Do you want to say what our number 1 pick was for this year?
Our number 1 for 2022 figure Festivus pick top 10 list. That's going to be all in the title.
Roboto.
Is
Oh my God, the
Roboto.
PTSD.
Can I rank episodes that we did this year?
That's my number
Top
1.
10.
That is my number 1.
No, in all seriousness, our number 1 is the armored last Ronin figure. This is your spot, so I'll let you gush about it, and I'll just throw on top of what you're already gonna say.
Oh my god, it's so good. Like NECA lost me on like every other turtle line this year. I got rid of my custom movie figures. I got rid of all my cartoon figures. I got rid of my original like OG Mirage figures just because I'm like, oh, they'll re-release them or do something better anyway. Like they had lost me completely, and then they announced these, and I went from 6 to midnight. Like I was thumbs up, let's do this. Give me some IDW Turtles, especially one of the best comic books to come out in a long while in general. Like, oh, it's so good. All the accessories, the sculpts, so fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, all of basically what you just said. It's again though, the detail is just I don't know. I mean, I don't buy a lot of other lines, but like I just don't understand how NECA doesn't get more respect than what they probably already get. But they are so damn good on just the small and every detail into a figure, which is it's just great. Like their sculpting is just top notch. And I figured the accessories would get you. I mean, they literally included almost every single thing that appears in the thing. Obviously, you got to buy the other one to get, but
that's why I have both. And you probably can't see them, but they're like right there on my shelf.
Yeah, that is just a black space.
Yeah, not very well lit back there.
But yeah, just a great figure. I know we joked about the fact that Playmates came out with theirs the same time, but I love both of them for obviously different reasons. But yeah, definitely that was when I started making my list, that was the easiest one to do. Was, of course, this is my number 1 figure, and it survived a hell.
You had a traumatizing experience with this figure and still love it.
Listen, not only is NECA's like fucking attention to detail and sculpting amazing, they might have the best packaging across all toy lines. And God, if they ever removed plastic, that toy would have been a fucking
oh my god, yeah. Could you imagine
pile
those
of
Hasbro? Those paper bags, that thing
would have just been chalk.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that, but yeah. Yours came like pancaked, and I'm just like, oh no, there's no way that survived.
And that was perfect.
And then you open it and it was fine. I'm like, oh wow, fuck. All right then.
But yeah, I love that figure. So it was an easy top number 1 for me.
Yeah,
same. To be fair, I didn't put any Ninja Turtles on my list because I figured you had this. Like
literally my whole list.
Yeah. So like, because like honestly, I probably would have put the cartoon Usagi Yojimbo on my list because it's an incredible figure. But I was like, you know what? They got this. But my number 1, I'll just say it. It's the GI Joe Classified Serpentor. It's incredible. It's a great figure. It's got an updated look that I want. It also has pieces to kind of make him more vintagey. Comes with his air chariot. He just looks incredible. It's expensive as shit for what it is at like $90. And a lot of people, like, if you don't have it, if you don't have it now, I mean, you're going to spend a lot for it. So I'm sorry. But it's an incredible figure. And if you're a fan of the line and you don't have it, then you're a chump. And
simple as that.
Throwing
it down.
I don't know what to tell you.
Nothing needs to be said. That's very
no.
true.
And just to clarify, because I didn't put any SH figure arts on my list for Dragon Ball.
I just now realized. Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, because I didn't know what came out this year, honestly, and I have still so many that I have
like a 3-year pile building.
Yeah, it would have been this figure, but I'm almost 99% positive this was last year, and this is the
that was non.
Yeah, this is the non-movie Piccolo.
Yeah, that was
so. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, this would have been it, and I would have been wrong. So that's why there was none on the list, because I don't think I've opened much from this year. So.
I was shocked though, but then I thought about it because I was curious, like, just thinking what you guys would put on there, but it really hasn't been.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Now I'm mad at myself.
Yeah, you should be.
I didn't put Super Saiyan 4 Goku on my list.
Yeah, I'm even wearing the shirt, and I didn't remember when that came out though either.
Thinking about it now, I know he came out this past summer.
Yeah, it was like in this. Yeah, I was gonna say like early summer. Yeah,
but I forgot that I haven't gotten a lot of figure arts figures, so it just didn't click in my head, and I didn't even think to look at the shelf, and I ended up not reviewing him because, like, I got him so late for whatever reason that I was like, oh well, the figure arts stuff usually doesn't perform well already, so I really don't want to be 3 weeks behind everyone anyway. So like, why bother? So I went through and I had filmed the whole thing. All I had to do was take the pictures, and at that point I looked at it, I'm like, oh man, like there's like 7 or 8 other reviews already out. Like this isn't going to be worth the amount of time I'm going to have to put into editing this. So yeah, it's still linked.
So yeah, that probably would have been on the list too.
Yeah,
because it's great.
Yeah, I probably would have gotten rid of. As much as I like it, I probably would have gotten rid of Retro Rhino and put him at number 5.
Yeah.
Would he be your number 9 and got rid of Thor?
Well, yeah, probably. I do really like that figure, but yeah.
Here's my question.
That was a dumb choice.
Did the alligator croc dude come out this year?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen reviews.
But I believe only if you bought it from overseas sellers, because I have it pre-ordered through Big Bad and not even an attempt to charge me for it.
Wait, who are we talking about? I'm talking about the G.I. Joe.
Oh, Crocmaster, yeah.
Crocmaster.
I thought you were talking about the alligator from the Fury toys.
I thought you were too.
Oh, no.
That was this year as well too. Like I said, I could have made my entire list. G.I. Joe.
Yeah, that's what I thought for sure. One of you guys are going to have Crocmaster.
Oh, I mean, considering I only kept the crocodiles, kind of didn't feel like it was justifiable to put on my list.
Also, every year I feel like we've been doing this. We all forget what came out this year.
Oh yeah,
which is just a sign of like, man,
things.
Shit's just crazy. It's so crazy.
It's so many things, and the years just feel like they run on forever anymore. So it's hard to keep up. But yeah, that's all 10 of them. Only took us like an hour. So if you were still here,
you know what you were in for.
And a half.
Hopefully you put your top 10 for 2022 down in the comments. If you haven't yet, make sure to do that. Also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe so we get more toy-related content in your feed with our reviews on Monday, our Let's Poses on Tuesday, the live stream on Wednesday, and the weekly podcast on Friday. You can follow us Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Modern Toy Fair. You can check Jarmar out over on metal.tv/Jarmar Games. Nate, what do you have to close out the year?
Oh, I do have a podcast that is going to be launching at the first of the year. It is called Do You Need a Moment to Swallow? And it is where me and a guest...
than I fall for.
Me and a guest, we will eat Taco Bell and have a conversation, and it'll be on different topics, and we'll go from there. And then if anybody has to ask, "Do you need a moment to swallow?" then they win.
So it's a game show as well.
I love it.
Yeah.
And if you
I
want to understand
Fucking
that
believe
joke,
you, man.
keep an eye out for our potential Patreon page where you'll be able to watch the behind the scenes portions of our videos where stupid shit like that comes up. But hopefully we'll see you next year. Same toy time, same Toy Fair channel. Thank you for watching and happy Festivus.